We've heard it over and over how important it is to keep our kids active. Dr. Blaise Nemeth with UW Health Pediatric Fitness is here to talk about specific physical activity recommendations for kids. And you've divided this into two age groups. So let's start with the under 6-year-old group. What's the recommendation?
Yeah, so there isn't really a solid recommendation from any of the organizations right now, but we're kind of taking our lead for what we do recommend from what other countries have said, and actually kind of going back to your piece talking about sitting. Getting kids up every hour, making sure that they have about 15 minutes of play time to move around. Their movement is a little different than what we do. I mean, they don't really exercise, kind of in the way we think about it.
Sure,
so
they're not going to go for a run. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's playing tag, just moving around about 15 minutes every hour. And that'll add up over the course of the day.
And what is the benefit of making that a priority?
You know, for little kids, it just kind of mixes up their day a little bit, gives them a different focus of attention. It's important for developing the skills of moving. So it actually lays the foundation for what they're going to do as they start to get older and get into more specialized sports.
And then they see that example from a very early age about the prioritizing of activity. Okay, so how do we do recommendations for kids 6 years and older? What's the difference there?
So they're similar to adults. It's an hour a day.
Starting at age 6?
Starting at age 6. And, you know, that may not seem like that's real hard to do with gym class and recess and all the sports that we have our kids in. But, you know, you really want to make sure that you're looking at the time the kids are actually moving. A lot of those organized times, about half of it is spent standing around, getting instruction. In gym class, obviously, if you're the first kid out, you're not going to be active for the whole class either.
And do you agree with kind of what we were talking about in that study about exercise an hour and don't be sedentary the other 23 hours? So it's important for parents to not just say, oh, you had gym today, therefore you can sit in front of the TV.
Absolutely. That's just a minimum recommendation.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's obviously benefits beyond just the physical activity, but rolling over into how kids do in school, they kind of need that break to let their brain reset a little bit. So actually working it in throughout, it can be a great time to take a little bit of a break before studying when they get home. Using that recess time at school to be active to also kind of refocus them and help their brain work a little bit better also.
And I'm assuming you recommend parents to get involved in the activity when possible?
Absolutely. I mean, we all know that for those of us who are parents, our kids don't always listen to what we have to say, but they definitely follow our examples. And so I think we need to set that example for them. And then also if we're doing things and trying to get our kids active, we want to do things that they're interested in. My daughter doesn't enjoy going for a run with me necessarily all the time, but if we're out building forts or, you know, digging in the snow when we have enough, those are the kind of things that she likes to do, and you know, we're obviously sweating and working hard as we're out there.
Setting a good example and making memories, right?
Exactly.
So important. Dr. Nemeth, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll be right back right after the break.